Avenue in Camden. McManus, pictured here, backed his vehicle into Leary's Mercury Milan, and a confrontation ensued that was caught on surveillance camera. Leary punched out McManus. McManus was knocked out on his feet, hit his head on the concrete, and died several days later. He had so Leary had a pretrial hearing on Cinco de Mayo, so it wasn't a party day for him. How does that work, Pete? Pretrial hearing, and you just...
Why are you asking me?
Because I don't know. I'm asking you because you're here. You're the person that's sitting there. Why are you taking it so personal?
Because I take things personal.
Oh my!
Like you ought to ask me all the stuff about criminals.
How does that work, B?
I ask you stuff about all kinds of stuff.
Right,
you're the person sitting there.
Okay, I won't take it personal.
All right, thank you.
So
Get over yourself.
A pretrial conference.
Thank you, but I need to know where that oncoming train is.
It's the D train with Darren DeVoue.
Your engine, but it's my damn train, all
Yes,
right?
it is your
I'm
train.
the damn conductor.
That's true.
Welcome back. You're on the D Train with Darren DeVoue on CMPRadio.net. We're in our second block, and we're a little heavy here today, folks. Don't forget, don't hit P up for any of our the Voice of Chester T-shirts right here. You can get them at CMP. Black and white, white on black, pink on black. Yeah, pink on black. No black on pink, though. Sorry. And black on white. I mentioned that. Yep. Don't forget, we're off next week, so this train's going to be in the yard. So you can use that if you missed any of it to catch up. If you missed any runs of the train, you can catch up on it next weekend. Also, don't forget to go to cmpradio.net YouTube or Facebook page to catch up on any of our content. Week Strong is next, right, P? Week Strong coming up at 12 noon?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
No, I don't. No, not this week. So you're doing it bi-weekly, so.
Okay, got you. So, no, Week Strong. So, but that said, though, we're a little heavy in our second block here, Pete.
Yeah, man, we got to fly through.
Okay, so, all right, starting off here, we got a Delco program that's aimed to reduce the prison population. And that's here. County officials hope a new drug treatment options, mental health programs, and alternatives to incarceration can reduce the prison population to a more manageable 1,000 inmates. It's a contrast to the for-profit model. And the for-profit model, that was illustrated very well. Have you ever seen the show Orange is the New Black that was available for Netflix? Yeah, that was illustrated they laid that out very well, the for-profit prison model. The one problem with this is that 3 contractors are going to handle medical needs. 3 separate contractors, outside contractors, will handle medical needs, food, and maintenance. And the county will pay prisoners more. And it looks to improve the work environment and retain staff. What I'm saying with the problem with 3 outside contractors, you got to have oversight with that because you can be ripe for graft with that. There was a DoorDash driver that was carjacked, and the carjackers wound up getting a federal sentence. This was handed down recently by they were caught by anti-carjacking task force. So that's nice to hear because, man, I'm just always paranoid now. I see a little old lady coming up on the car. Oh, she gonna carjack me. That's part of the setup. They send a sweet little old lady. But she's packing.
So let me ask you this question.
What's that?
Do you have a gun license?
No.
I think you should get one.
See, that's the thing. You know how many times, think about it. How many times have you left this laying around, this daggone pocket supercomputer known as a cell phone, right? How many times have you left something laying around?
That's why you don't have kids, because
right.
you're forgetful.
I'm forgetful. So you can't give me a gun. You cannot give me a gun and expect me to keep.
I get it now.
I would be I'd be like, damn.
You got more excuses than the motherfucking mailman.
Where the fuck?
Why you late? God damn, I get it now. See? So you got to ask one question to get to the next question.
So you think that's an excuse? I don't like guns. essentially, I don't like them. I think
If the world was the end of the day and we had walking zombies, I guess you would allow them to bite you so you don't have to kill any.
I'll go in that back where you got that machete at and get that. Get the slicing and dicing.
Now, that ain't going to work long enough.
Got to get that thing out the head and get to the next. You got to swing. Got to get that forehand in there so you can get the decapitate right off the bat. Yo, did you hear this woman? Former prison guard, corrections officer. Her name is this 37-year-old Amanda Barr of Trevos. She's admitted her role in straw purchases. She's facing charges of unlawful sale, transfer of firearms, dealing in proceeds of unlawful activities, and unsworn falsification to authorities. She began purchasing guns. Well, she purchased 7 guns. She purchased 2 guns at a gun show and then reported them missing 2 weeks later. Problem was, eventually those guns turned up in the hands of gentlemen that weren't supposed to have guns because of felony convictions. So then when a review of state and federal purchase forms, they found that she had purchased 7 guns. Okay, whoa. We got 2 of them right here. She's got 5.
Need you to bring them other 5
Yeah, we need
guns
to.
in.
Would you say that again, P?
They need you to bring them other 5 guns in.
I don't have those. I'm sorry, guys.
Where are those guns at?
You got me. I sold them. So yeah, but that's when they hit her up with the other charges. So the purchase of the 7 firearms were made from January 2018 to March 2019. So she faces, and then again, she couldn't account for those other 5 that should have been in her possession. I remember when they first started putting metal detectors in high schools. And then at first I was like, I don't like it. And then when they started, now I'm hearing a report, over the past couple of weeks about them putting metal detectors in elementary schools. To which, I was like, I don't like it.
I never liked.
Yeah, Jordan didn't like it either. She was saying she was about to get wicked on the microphone. Please got to blow bubbles, keep her entertained.
So she got this bubble thing in here, and if I don't blow them, she's mad. But no, I never really liked the metal detectors in high school, and I get it. It's to protect students, but
You got
it just gets them ready for prison, man.
Right.
Literally.
And well, then this story now after hearing, but you've been hearing it recently, kids,
Getting younger
and younger with firearms
Right.
showing up at school.
Right.
And so again, like I said, I didn't like the metal detector when I heard about it a couple weeks ago. Much like what you said, preparation for prison.
Right.
And I read about these, but then I read this story, and especially over the past few weeks, I read this next story and then I'm like, they might be on to something. There was a 8-year-old in Chicago at Walt Disney Elementary.
It's not the same Disney.
No?
It can't be.
That's why I was like, is he from Chicago? But 8-year-old at Walt Disney Elementary brought a gun to school in his backpack. The gun went off accidentally, accidentally. That implies there's no one to blame. The gun discharged, and Walt Disney. No, he's from California. All right. Anyway, Walt Disney.
Yeah, that's why I said it's not the same person.
Yeah, there's not even a Disneyland.
There's another Darren DeVoue out there in the world.
Oh, there's plenty. Actually, there's 3 that I know of.
Not related to you.
Oh, not related to me? Actually, there is, but he doesn't spell it the same.
Right.
Okay. Good point. All right. So, Walter. This is at Walter Disney. The gun went off, and he grazed a classmate. So the 8-year-old, when the gun went off, it grazed a 7-year-old classmate in the stomach. And the 8-year-old got the gun from underneath the mom's bed, according to prosecutors. The 28-year-old mother is unnamed, but she does have. Now, the kid got the gun from under the bed, but she does have a license to carry. Ma'am, the license to carry does not cover the whole household, okay? It just covers you. It doesn't. She was released on $1,000 bond, and she's facing 3 misdemeanor counts of child endangerment. We talked a lot about them dirt bikes, P. And it's summertime, so just if you start to hear him off in the distance, just be on the lookout, because these cats ain't observing traffic laws. And one such thing happened this week before last. This poor young fella, a 17-year-old Jesus Gomez Rosario, when he was riding his skateboard west on Allegheny Avenue, and a dirt bike riding at high speed came towards him. And the video is kind of sad. Dirt bike is trying to do wheelies. He starts to put his wheel down as he's approaching Rosario at a high rate of speed. Dirt bike hit him. And then eventually the rider took off. Rosario died from his injuries the following Tuesday. Police are still looking for the dirt bike rider. They said the dirt bike has green wheels, green body, and damage to the left side.
Oh, that dirt bike's trash.
Oh, yeah, they better chop that thing up.
That thing is done.
Yeah. What you mean, from the damage or just because it's
just
evidence?
Done.
Okay.
It's evidence.
Yeah, oh, yeah. You got to get rid of that. I'm sure they'll find a replacer quickly anyway. So, speaking with dirt bike riders, last Thursday near Huntington Park, footage shows almost 100 foot. There was footage of almost 100 dirt bike and ATV riders on Huntington Park Avenue. Well, one ATV carrying 2 gentlemen ran a red light and was struck by a Chevy Tahoe. The Tahoe dragged the ATV about 50 feet, while an 18-year-old and a 23-year-old male were tossed. Both victims were rushed to Temple University Hospital. One could lose his leg, and one could lose both legs. So
that's funny.
Listen, man. Listen.
That's funny.
You wanted it, you got it. Those cats, listen, yesterday, I was on Lehigh Avenue.
I want you to say that for everyone. That's a tragedy.
You running through accident implies there's no one to blame. When you're running through lights, when you're swerving up in oncoming lanes, when you're like we just saw and we're going to be talking about in our next story, when you're doing all that, why can't they observe the regular traffic laws? There you go. So,
do you know where a majority of these riders come from?
Yes.
Could you say you came from the same?
And that's what they're talking about, trying to make a
Can you say
space.
You came from the same lifestyle?
Yes, I came from the same. No, I came from the same streets, not the same lifestyle.
Right.
So
what is that lifestyle that they adhere to?
Lawless. Are you saying, No rules. Okay.
Right. So if you're on a bike and you don't have regulations and you don't have rules in your life, you're not gonna have rules when you're on the bike.
Right, especially because they didn't have to go through it. They didn't have to get a license. You got 13-year-olds rolling around in these things. So there's no training on them, and like you said, no rules.
No rules.
So, there were 8 limbs. There were 8 limbs. We might be down.
I think
5.
That's sad.
It's sad. Oh, definitely sad.
That's something to laugh.
Because I mean, like they're going to be regretting that for the rest of their lives.
And they learned their lesson.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, like that's a hard lesson to learn.
I mean, that's the lesson that you chose to learn. I never personally ever got on a motorcycle or a dirt bike because I know how fast I like to drive.
Okay.
The instant I don't have 4 doors or 2 doors or 4 wheels or something surrounding me to protect me from, I know it's over for me.
Okay.
You feel me? So I'm not doing none of that. I'm good. You understand what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people, that's a thrill to them. That breaking the law and running the light and going through and doing this, that's a thrill to them. So if you come from a culture where there are no rules, then there are no rules. No rules apply to you. You feel me? And that's how they feel. But to laugh at young people, you know what I mean?
The group came down Lehigh yesterday, and then I'm at a red light, right? So they must have been in 2 groups. So they go through the light. Light turns green for me. I'm going, and then I see a bunch of them coming right at me. This dude on one of those 3-wheel things, those spiders, he honks his horn at me. Then he pulls over and cuts off the other cars coming behind me so that these dirt bike riders can go through.
Right.
That right there. These cats just rolling. Like about to almost T-boning me. Would have been flying over the side of my car. And then who's going to pay for the damage of my shit?
Nobody.
Right.
So stop.
What?
That's all
We're
you-
going
that's
to
all-
agree to disagree on this one.
Do you allow funeral processions to ride through and not stop?
Is that a funeral procession?
Do you?
It was about to be it was going to necessitate a funeral.
So the question is, do you? Or do
Yes,
you
of course.
Yes, you do.
There's
See?
an established custom right there with that.
That's an
I've seen people on foot throwing stuff at cars
So
that
why
break the
can't
funeral
it be
train.
an established custom that you just wait for the bikers to ride past?
Well, it's too soon for all that. Then, if that's the case, then it's too soon to be an established custom. It's going to be a while to get worked out.
Wow. You know that funeral procession shit was from the rip.
I don't know. Probably they probably had to work out exactly. Work the kinks out. But in the meantime, listen. Stop at a daggone red light, fellas. I mean, and
I'ma
not to
stop at
mention
the
that's
light and
bad.
then get
That's
pulled
bad PR. That's bad PR. Like I used to joke about, like when I used to smoke the ganja, and then I'd see blunt stuffings all over somebody else's property, or cats smoking on, you know what I mean, all over in public places downtown. I'm like, come on, guys, it's bad PR. They're gonna slow down the legalization of it if you're doing all that, because they go, I hate them public smoking weed smokers. Bad PR. They're running their red lights and all that, coming up the wrong lanes, sidewalks. This group of them, they were riding to celebrate one guy's death, one dirt bike rider's death a couple of years ago. Almost took out this woman on the sidewalk. He was rolling right down the sidewalk at a high rate of speed on that thing. What do those things weigh? What, 400 pounds? I don't know. But speaking of that, in our next story. So there was a female dirt bike rider, and this happened in the city as well. This happened in the Holmesburg section of the city on the 7900 block of State Road. Second dirt bike fatality this week in the city, by the way. With a group of about 5 others, she was riding, unidentified female. They were riding northbound in the southbound lane, and then eventually when they crossed over into the northbound lane, she got struck by a vehicle, and she was pronounced dead at the scene. Get off of these daggone things. Like I said, they're proposing that they're going to try and make something down in Southwest, but then you're probably going to run into logistic problems with respect to how do they get the bikes down there to ride them, etc.
You have to make space for them.
Right. Oh yeah. Like you make skate parks and all that because you're tired of them tearing up your concrete. Go over there and do that shit.
Right.
Stuff. So I definitely abide by that. Like I don't say like ban them. Period. No.
15 years of people riding these motorcycles on the street, these bikes on the street, and there has been nothing done yet. 15 years.
And they're working on legislation to
So
punish.
If you as a person that's
but
driving a car want them off the street, and they want to ride their bikes, and they want to ride their bikes off the street as well, you feel me? Then you work together. You have to come together. You have
and
to.
I've seen examples of that when I was delivering in Delaware County, right around Folsom or whatever.
Right.
There was like this big. It was like 4 basketball courts, and there were guys were riding dirt bikes. There was a cop right there sitting there, and then he walked up, chatting when they busted it up.
Over here, they allow them to ride in Upland Park.
Right, in the park. Yeah, there you go. Knock your socks off. Get it. But my thing, you were talking about how you don't trust yourself with speed. I'm telling you, man, when I think of speed, the heartbreak that speeding caused me in the summer of 1992 when Jerome Brown died.
Right.
It's like, and I knew it was over. Like, I knew we were winning that Super Bowl going into the season. When that happened, I was like, damn, that's that. Oh, and Jerome Brown did. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that was sad, especially, you know what I mean? Like watching that, looking at the footage of that, the picture of that torn up vehicle. Yeah, speed does kill. We've talked before about misbehaving cops. That's a follow-up story, actually. Remember that little old lady with dementia?
Yeah.
That this cop manhandled? It was a June 2020 arrest. Her name was Karen Gardner. She had dementia. That cop is now looking at 3 years. Wait, no. He got sentenced to former Loveland, Colorado police officer Austin Hopp is sentenced to 5 years. He pleaded in the June 2020 arrest. State District Judge Michelle Brennegar said to Hopp, "This case is not about a mistake. I do think you're sorry, but I don't think you get it." She probably got that based on, because if you remember, they were after that, later on, back in the station, these cops were fist pounding each other. Man, you kicked the ass on that old 73-year-old demented old lady. Good job. That's otherwise known as the cop high five. In our we talked about fender benders in the intro. This one didn't end badly. And speaking of assaulting a senior citizen, this here is, and the article said his name, according to the article, Nathan Hurricane Fields. Middle name Hurricane. I mean, with a name like that, should have been a boxer, right? No. Anyway, he's of Lancaster. He got into a fender bender last March. Fields rear-ended a car that was stopped at an intersection, and he was waiting for a car to clear. The car was waiting to clear. Fields rear-ended that car, and then when the driver, a 62-year-old male, got out of his car to exchange information, he asked Fields about his information. Fields said he didn't have a license and proceeded to hit the older gentleman with 5 punches to the head and stomach, causing him to fall and damage his wrist. The victim was taken to Lancaster General, while Fields, meanwhile, fled the scene. They wound up picking. The victim wound up needing pins in his wrist and what have you. The orthopedic surgeon testified that normally he only sees injuries like that in motorcycle incidents. Fields also had 14 prior offenses, and he was driving on a suspended license. Oh, shit. That sucks. That doesn't work. Mr. Dumbass, I'm your man at Dumbass and Dumbass. Anyway, moving on. The 3-day trial, he was found guilty of aggravated assault. Remember, speaking of follow-up stories, remember, Pete, we talked about West Point cadets that overdosed? There was 5 West Point cadets that overdosed on, they suspected was fentanyl.
Right. Did they die?
No, they lived, thank goodness. 20-year-old Axel Cassius, and he was indicted on 2 counts of distribution of a controlled substance for the May 5th incident. He sold cocaine-laced fentanyl to the 5 cadets. And once you get a look at him, man, you're I'd be like, well, I don't know, guys. I know we're looking for drugs. I get that, but I don't know. Anything I got to buy off of this guy to get high.
You got a picture of him?
No, I didn't have. I just saw the picture of him today when I Googled the story as I was doing prep, and I was like, where'd that picture come from? Because even in the dark, well, I guess they just wanted that booger sugar that bad. Pete, remember when we talked, or no, this isn't a follow-up yet. We got another follow-up story coming up in a second. But there was a New Jersey cops. We talked before about how expensive police misbehavior can be. Well, this gentleman, Xavier Ingram, he just settled with New Jersey police for $10 million. Camden County is going to pay him $10 million.
Wow.
He was paralyzed.
He was?
Well, yeah, right, is. He was paralyzed after an encounter with the police. This was back in, he's 29 now, and 8 years ago, they agreed, 8 years ago, he encountered police, and they said he fled, and so he fled, cops caught up to him, the old knee to the back thing, and then eventually Ingram was transported to a hospital where you see him in that picture there. The police said that he injured himself when he fell while he was running from them. We ain't do that. He did that by running, which made us have to put our knee on his neck. So therefore, he did that. I'm sure. Well, with the $10 million settlement, I'm sure he'd rather having the ability to walk and earn a living on his own rather than needing the $10 million. I'm saying, coming down to being paralyzed or $10 million, I'm sure he'd rather have not being coming down to walking or having $10 million and being paralyzed. I'm sure he would have taken the walking every time.
Who says his life was? This is from your perspective with the bike riders, right? Who said his life was that great before? It could be greater now than $10 million. It's a plus. This is how you look at shit. Right? Ain't this how you look at shit? No?
I'm paralyzed with no use of my lower body, but things are looking up, baby.
I got $10 million. You have the two brothers losing their legs.
He gonna need a lot of that for PT, for that physical therapy.
Nah, insurance cover that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So yeah, Camden County paying out. Like Camden County's got that money. I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta listen. $10 million, and y'all gotta pay all my insurance shit. Everything that I need, physical therapy, all that good stuff. No.
Oh my goodness.
Who says his life was that great before? Now he got $10 million.
This is what things are. Things are looking up, baby. My luck's beginning to change already.
Listen, literally. Like, you never know why we looking at it.
Oh my goodness. P, did you hear? Oh wait, we got another follow-up story actually.
And you doing a lot of follow-ups.
We do. Well, that's what I'm saying. We like to double check. We go back. Yeah, remember the 9-baby lady?
Ooh.
That's all of them. They're
At
up
one
and
time?
doing well. Yes, remember her with the super huge baby? I thought it was a fake. You thought it was you believed her because you said her nose and her fingers were swollen.
Yeah, was swollen.
And she was blown up. I thought it was, again, a fake, but shut your mouth, Darren. There they are. They're living well and doing well in Mali.
I be trying to tell you, you don't be knowing what you're talking
Woo, boy. Oh, well, we were taking a guess each. Actually, there was discussion all over it. Well, this ends the discussion for sure right now, not unless they went out and rented 9 babies real quick. But, yeah, they did have 2 older kids, so you can see the older kid between the 2 parents right there. So there you go. P, you know about, you were just talking to me about, we were talking earlier about what I want to do as far as a career. And, you know, some people go through transitions after they retire. I'm nowhere near retire. Shoot, I'll probably be working till the day I die. But retired Frank Gore. You remember Frank Gore, the running back?
That's not who this is.
Oh, shoot. I'm off by one. This is Earl Thomas. Speaking of career transitions, Earl Thomas, he's been wanting to get back in the NFL, but teams haven't been calling. And that was just performance related, and I'm sure this next story ain't going to help his cause at all. He was arrested last Friday in his hometown of Orange, Texas. There was a warrant out for his arrest for more than 2 weeks for a domestic incident with his, where he violated a protective order. So he was off for 2 weeks. And considering how slow he looked the last time I saw him on the field, I'm amazed that it took the authorities 2 weeks to catch up to Earl Thomas. Moving on our next story, Pete.
Got jokes. You got a lot of jokes. You got a lot of jokes. But I love it, though. I love it, though. I feel like, you know, he was a member of you look at everybody from that situation that went on to other teams from the Legion of Boom.
Uh-huh.
They were all garbage.
Okay.
Like after they left
Right,
that situation.
right. How about that?
Where's Cam Chancellor?
Yeah.
Where is he?
Where is Cam Chancellor?
You know what I'm saying?
He got traded to the Jets, right? And then that was
nothing ever.
well, he had like 4 sacks in his first 3 games or
Right.
something, and then
it was over after
all
that, right?
Team
So-
started preparing for it.
Listen, like, so, you know, when you're a team, you're a unit, you come together, you're able to do things. When you go off on your own and do things, everybody don't have that same situation. You
Right,
get mad,
right.
you get upset. You're already a football player. You already got tons of concussions. He had a pile of concussions.
Who, Earl Thomas?
Earl
yeah.
Thomas?
Well, he's from Texas. He's been playing football since he was 4 years old.
Right, so he
Yeah.
has piles and tons of concussions. I just hope the brother seeks help, talks to somebody before he puts that gun in his mouth, because this is where this takes you.
And you know what? It's funny you say that, because I remember when his final game in Seattle,
Right.
and he was hurt. He tore up his knee, and as they were carting him off the field, and he looks at the team, and he just gives a big finger, and I was like picturing myself as a teammate on the side, like, damn, Earl, what you giving up me the finger for? Management, yeah, but
It's the whole team.
right, the whole team, all of us, damn,
All of
Earl.
them, yeah, because the defense is what won them their championship.
Right, oh yeah.
You feel me? Everybody big on this quarterback situation. What's he really do in Denver?
There's no more overrated position than the quarterback. He's got to depend on 10 other people to do their jobs well.
Right.
You know, that's why I hate when the whole how many championships did he win discussion. Unless we're talking tennis or golf, That's a dead point. Like, because there's so many things that go into it that affect it when you're talking team sports. What's our next story, P?
Rashaan Rondo.
Oh shoot, Rashaan.
Seen on the red carpet with a nice little cutie. Who's he with?
That's his missus.
He look a little young. He look young too.
Yeah, that's an old photo. And unfortunately, speaking of pro athletes, he shouldn't have CTE, I would think, as a basketball player, but he recently, yeah. Well, I mean, it's possible to get a cup. Well, I guess it only differs from person to person. I mean, a concussion, one concussion could probably send the right person into CTE.
Right.
And unlike Earl Thomas, who has multiples. Yeah, Rashaan threatened that young lady with a couple of guns recently.
A couple what?
Couple guns. Threatened the missus and
young guns? Like
no.
Like actual physical guns?
Yes, he did.
With bullets in them?
Yeah.
He's upset too.
Huh?
He's upset too.
Well, raging, he's always struck. I've always said raging is a like it was probably what they were trying to call him. When yeah, he's facing some He's looking at a little bit of charges. He's gotten threatening the missus with some guns. So he's accused of domestic abuse. So again, there'll be more on that later. So I'm looking for some follow-ups on that. We talk about career transitions with the past two retired athletes. What about our next story? Frank Gore.
Not Frank Gore, Sacktown. Somebody with a basketball.
Oh, damn. Speaking of athletes and their misses, you hear about Rashaan Holmes, Orlando Magic forward. He got threatened with he was accused of domestic abuse, and
come to find out the wife was beating him up.
I should have kept this for you for P's Weekly Hero, because now he wound up winning custody of the kids once he hit court. Yep. And I'm thinking to myself, when a guy gets custody of the kids,
the woman was crazy.
Yeah.
And literally, what happens is men don't want to disclose the things that they've had to deal with in a relationship. Be it abuse, be it physical, be it mental.
Right.
Like whatever, it's abuse. You feel me? So when you can show that you're a father and the mother is not so much of a mother as she should be, it's easy. And he got the money. It's easy for him to be able to listen, man, I'm out of here. And I want my kids. He got a lawyer. She don't have no money for no lawyer.
Unless he give it to her.
Right, unless he give it to her, and there it is.
Oh, man. Yeah.
There it is.
How about it? Yeah, I like I said, when he was oh yeah, you're talking about Earl Thomas, Jabri. Right. Good morning, Jabri, by the way. Sorry. I just assumed you were here anyway. So actually now we get to Frank Gore, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Boxing.
Yeah, Frank Gore, he recently won his first professional bout.
He was a monster on the football field. Dude. I can just imagine who he will be. Dude. Just looking at his head.
Like his face. It's built to get hit. Like that thing.
Boy, it's perfect. Let's go. He knocked Bull out. He put Bull to sleep. Bull to sleep right there. At that moment, when your body is like that, look at his bottom arm. It's all out of whack. Why somebody going to sleep? You're like, damn, your arm ain't supposed to do that. But when you sleep, it do a lot of things.
Yes, that was on his 39th birthday. On his 39th birthday, he knocked out Yaya Orlando at Game Bred boxing event in Biloxi, Mississippi.
Oh yeah, Biloxi, Mississippi.
Yeah. Yo, actually, and that's the thing, man. When Frank Gore, when I first saw him, he tore up his knee. He was hyped before he came to Miami. Right. Tore up his knee before he played a game. Right. Then I saw him his first game or second game back, and I was like, holy smokes, that's him after ACL surgery? Right. Then, before he even leaves Miami, he tears his knee up again. Right. And then after I've torn my knee up, and I was like, man, he's got to be done. Because, I mean, that pain and the rehab and whatnot, but then he comes back and turns into a workhorse running back for years and years and years and years and years. So
sometimes God sets up a break for you to prove to yourself that you can do it. It's not to make excuses, Darren.
Well, he set me up
so much. It's so painful. Don't make the excuse. Keep pushing. Push through it. Challenge yourself.
Right, which I did, and Frank Gore did, but he's more of
He's
a
going to continue to challenge himself.
he's going to be challenging the chin of others too as he goes along.
Alpha male ain't going to sit there and take that. Like, that's not going to happen to me. I'm knocking everybody out. He knocked him smooth out.
Yes, he did. So, second generation stuff, right? You know, like you just, sometimes a father can put pressure on the son to walk in his footsteps, right? Well, I don't know if that's what's going on in the Holyfield household, but Evander Holyfield's son,
He got knocked.
he got 20. He's now 9-1 after he took his first loss. He was knocked out by Jermaine McDonald, who was an electrician by day.
All right.
Yeah.
He connected him.
Right. He cut off his power.
Make sure this right and left light you right
The
on
lights are going dark now. Right.
He just got electrocuted.
Oh man. So yeah, and you know what though? One time when I was younger, I met Marvis Frazier and Marvin Frazier. I was talking to this guy Michael Nice, and I was at his office, and I met Marvin and Marvis, and I was like, holy smokes! And then it reminded me Joe and Marvis, and then it reminded me when I was a kid and I was watching the fight when Marvis Frazier fought Larry Holmes. And then you can see it on Larry Holmes, like, man, Larry Holmes, he don't get much fanfare, but he was one hell of a champion, dude. And Larry Holmes, I could almost read his lips when he said,
Damn, nigga.
What?
Go down. No.
No, he was talking, this before the fight, as they're getting it, and he looks and he says, I'm going to get this all done quick. I want to go home. And I was like, oh, snap. Sure enough, Larry Holmes knocked Marvis Frazier out, right? Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Like, he was dead serious. But the thing that stuck out to me always about that fight was when Marvis Frazier got to his feet, Joe Frazier comes flying in the ring and grabs his son and hugs the bejesus out of him. And you could and he cups his son's head and he's whispering in his ear. And I was like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, to get that from, especially how my father was, you know, like I wouldn't have gotten that much love or something like that after, and encouragement after a defeat. But let's move on to our next story, Pete. I've got friends. I've gotten into arguments with friends, but I've never quite thought about shooting them.
Ooh.
Maybe kicking them in the leg or
That's
something.
because you don't own a gun.
Right. You get on my nerves today, boy. Oh, this happened in Pottstown, and this is Stephen Moore. And Stephen Moore made what. You know what? He was on trial for Easter Sunday shooting of his friend in a lot in Pottstown.
How long ago? This past Easter?
No, Easter 2019. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
Damn, he going to trial already?
Yeah, they got him in quick. Done. So he's accused of shooting his friend Joshua Alexander on April 21st, 2019.
You killed him?
Yeah, Joshua gone. Yeah, so... Now, according to the report, now, by the way, he testified in his own defense at a murder trial.
Must have been some kind of mental abuse. As he was saying, he was raped by it.
No, right. Well, 34-year-old Moore, he testified that he didn't murder his friend. He told prosecutors that what happened. Well, now prosecutors are saying that these two. Alexander told Moore, listen, I need to buy a screwdriver. Take me to Home Depot. Moore takes Alexander to the Home Depot, where reportedly an argument ensued between the two, and Moore shot Alexander at the Home Depot and fled. Now, Moore fled on Industrial Highway in Pottstown. Now, Moore told authorities that it wasn't him that shot his friend. It was a third person who pulled up to them at the lot and shot his friend, and then came up on him and tried to shoot him. And there was a struggle for the gun, and then the gun fell into the truck. And then that's when Moore fled. And that's when a officer who was coming to the report of the shooting sees Moore going at a high rate of speed in the opposite direction, turns it around and goes after Moore and arrests him. So that was Moore's explanation for why his DNA is on the gun and, gunpowder is on his hand. Yeah. No, so needless to say, the prosecutors ain't buy that shit. He guilty. I'm saying, you'd have did better by saying, no, I didn't shoot him. I choked him to death by accident when I wrestled him into submission with my beard. Look at that thing. That thing, James Harden's joint ain't got nothing on that thing. It's monstrous. It's got to be like 10 pounds. That's half his height right there. Look at that. He could have been a suit. That's like the Super Globetrotter fro.
How can that story not be
tragic?
No,
what?
Incredible. How can it not have happened?
What, that the guy, so he shot, so from a distance, he shoots your friend.
But not from a distance.
Well, now they're saying that the gun
tell how close the gun is. So.
They could tell how close his friend got. Well, that's what his story didn't fit. Judging from the gunshot wounds on his friend, right. It didn't fit that a guy would be right there, shoot his friend, and then run up on you. Those gunshots hit him from several feet away. Right. So he would, for a guy to shoot your friend and then still be able to run up on you with that gun, you buying it? I don't know.
I mean, the shock from the situation, I'm thinking of, put myself in that situation.
Right, you could be like, no, Jimmy, right?
And you don't want to pull off, then the guy comes over, tries to shoot you, you wrestle with the gun is found in your car. I mean, you just got to poke holes in that situation.
Okay.
But I'm not going
to. Right. Defense, all you got to do is raise the reasonable doubt.
Right.
Okay, that's true.
Attorney, that's all he has to do.
Right.
Provide reasonable doubt.
He doesn't have to actually disprove it.
No, he doesn't.
Right.
You feel me? Just shoot holes in it, and if it don't hold water, it ain't true. And if it don't hold water, you can't prove that he did it.
Very Johnny Cochran of you, P.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking about going back to school to get my law degree.
Oh, we got a story on that later on. All right, so smoke alarm. Listen to this one. An active smoke alarm, and this took place in Pennsylvania as well. Man, Pennsylvania's been, and the summer's coming. Active smoke alarm on West State Street in Media. And this is on May 8th, right? The active smoke alarm brought authorities. Authorities smell something when they get there. And then they find 36-year-old Jeffrey Knifehammer, and he's found unresponsive. Now, that's not quite the problem so much as when you look around Mr. Knifehammer's apartment and you see him manufacturing meth and ghost guns. Oh, yeah. He was getting it in. Yeah. That's kind of scary. Right in your apartment, though? Huh? He set up a whole workshop right there. Like, not even rent a garage or something somewhere and do all that.
That's overhead.
Right. I get it.
That's overhead.
Well, he left his pizza rolls in the damn oven and brought the authorities, and now he's looking.
All these guns are on the street, man. You wonder why everybody, every child, every kid, every neighborhood has guns.
Yeah, and so you can create them.
You can buy your own guns.
He had 3D printed handguns, 3D printed magazines, all in his apartments, and 3D printed silencers as well. He's creating an assassin kit right there in his apartment. I'm terrified. I might not leave the house in all these doors.
Technology, them 3D printers.
How about it?
I said it and guess what? You can't even use a metal detector to find it.
Exactly. Like
they're not made of metal.
They kind of showed that in that movie with Clint Eastwood, where he was a Secret Service agent. Right. And John Malkovich's character made like a plastic gun. Yep. And eventually snuck that, like you said, right through the metal detectors.
You can order all these pieces right offline.
Oh my goodness, yeah, damn internet. See, you know what though, Pete? Like, and that's funny because when you say you saw something like that out of 3D printers, I saw possibilities. And when I hear stories about, they've printed neighborhoods now with these 3D printed, printed whole neighborhoods, houses with 3D printed houses.
I don't know.
So it's
3D printed house?
3D printed neighborhoods, yeah. So I guess they printed piece by piece or what have you. But yeah, we did a story on it earlier this year.
Because I want to know how you're taking a shower in a 3D printed
house. Well, you're going to have to install the pipes.
They don't do the pipes and everything.
That house is going to come apart real easy.
Right? It's a snap together house. It's 2027. By 2027, man, it's going to be crazy.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So speaking of federal charges, like we talked about in our last story. In this story, we talked before about guys just having guns and running up in places, just waving guns in cats' faces. Give me all your money. Like, what kind of crime is that? Federal charges are happening for this robbery that took place on Torresdale Avenue in Philly. And actually, the dog is being hailed as a hero in this because these two cats come in. One rushes behind the counter, and the other one is meanwhile grabbing goods off shelves and whatnot. And then when the cat with the gun comes behind the counter, the dog. Now, see, it's funny because the newspaper articles are citing the dog as a hero. Like the dog just went full on, oh, who's this? And just, no, that dog jumped. If you see the video, the dog jumped up on this cat like, hey, buddy. Like, you know, like any old dog just trying to get petted and being friendly. But he distracted the dude. He distracted the dude long enough for the clerk to go reach up under that counter and let off two at him. And then that's when these two knuckleheads fled. And then they eventually wound up getting caught because the dude that was behind the counter, he got hit and wound up at Temple University Hospital for a gunshot wound where authorities promptly placed him under arrest. So they're looking at federal charges for that one. But again, listen, we talked about it before. Get a job. Oh, man, we have some serious. Oh, Pete, you hear about that? You do any youth coaching? Well, I mean, I know you got programs with youth. Do you do any sports coaching?
Yeah, I coach. I didn't really coach. I was more like a babysitter for my son's football team when they were younger.
Okay, like how old were they?
Like 8.
Okay, yeah. They just listen, fellas. This is the direction you run in, okay? Like when they're that age. I remember I was at a youth football game for kids around that age. Actually, they might have been younger, hell. But I was at a youth football game. No, they were definitely younger. I mean, they had to keep their heads up like this so they could see out of their helmets. And the coach this was at the end of the game when the team that won, the coach was talking to them and he's like, gentlemen, we were ahead at halftime. And the team that's ahead at halftime wins 50% of the time. And as I'm walking past, I'm looking at this little powwow and I'm like, you're talking to kids that age about percentages of wins and whatnot, dude. I think you're doing too much. And speaking of doing too much, this is an assistant coach in Irvine, California. And his name is Anthony Foreman. He's 30-year-old. He was giving his players Adderall. He was giving his high school players Adderall. And he's a football coach. Why are you guys taking Adderall in the off season?
Focus.
Damn, for the off-season workouts? Damn. That shouldn't that be? I guess get him locked in on practice. Right. I don't know. So yeah, he's looking at.
Adderall is amazing. I remember I took it one time and found out everything I needed to find out. What you talking about my shit? God damn, look at all your shit. And I found it. I'm using this Adderall. They had prescribed that to my daughter. And I took that.
Honey, let me get some.
I was figuring out passwords I ain't know. It was crazy.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
It just links parts of your brain that you thought are sleep.
Okay.
You feel me? It's like glue.
Oh, interesting.
Ooh, there it is. There, I got that.
Yeah, they uncovered that he did it. Well, they uncovered evidence that Foreman gave them the Adderall during the 2020 during the past season, which makes more sense to me because he's it's in season. Foreman was charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor, furnishing a controlled substance, and furnishing a controlled substance to a minor on a school campus. And noted he was placed on administrative leave as well. So, wow. Speaking of drug trafficking, Pete, how would you, let's see, drug trafficking, we talked about this before. Don't go all defense. Why are you asking me about drug trafficking? All right, so like if I was to be a drug trafficker, that Breaking Bad, that was a good scenario. You want to keep your facility mobile, less likely to be detected, or subterranean like Gus Fring. But now transporting, that's a big thing always, right? You got to have your mules, trap cars, and all that stuff as they suggest. So what would be your ideal method of transporting the drugs to the customers after manufacture?
To the customers?
To the market.
Or to the market?
Or to the customers, yes. Once from from the distributing to the customer.
What drug are we talking about? Because all drugs are different.
How about that? Different markets. well, methamphetamine, heroin, and cocaine.
Cocaine, you got to put it all together. I say box it in a. You have to be doing something for the community.
Okay.
You feel me?
Which explains your presence.
Right.
Yep.
Which explains your presence.
And it's cover, right?
Right. Your cover. So yeah, like a maybe a book van or something like that.
So, this restaurant in Greenfield, North Carolina, was busted for having they moved thousands of kilos of methamphetamine, heroin, and cocaine, and they were pumping it into Greenville County.
Right.
They were using their food trucks. So they were using their food taco trucks.
One thing I learned, when I came home, delivering pizza is another good way.
Okay, yeah.
You feel me? The police pull you over, you got a bunch of pizzas in the car. They like, all right, go ahead. You feel me?
Right.
Go ahead.
You're going to take one of these pizzas, too.
I got you. Order one later. I'll bring it to the police station. Let me know. Look, take my number down. Call me. You feel me? I got you on a pizza. You feel me?
Right. So
about 5 of them boxes got a whole bunch of weed in it.
So the restaurant also served as a distribution hub as well. So you would call in your order, delivery.
Yeah. I mean, drug.
Yeah, I want that fish taco. Yeah, extra lettuce.
Extra lettuce. There it is. You feel me? Let me get 2 of them large. You feel me? You got large, extra large.
And they were actually, so authorities are saying they were actually connected to a Mexican cartel.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
Wow.
You got to be smart now.
Oh.
Get over on people.
Nice try.
That was before.
Right.
No longer in that field.
Right.
I wish I was.
And you know what? They brought that up in, what was that movie we watched? Well, we didn't watch it. You've seen it and I've seen it. Charm City Kings.
Right.
Where they were using dating apps.
Right.
For their deliveries and whatnot, because dating apps are less likely to be searched by police in real time, as opposed to a phone call or your email. So yeah, how about that? Teslas, those things can move, right? Those things can move. For an electric car. Like, those things have get up and go. Like, compared to the Prius or even your first model electric cars, like, those Teslas can move like Ferraris. And so this happened in Columbus, Ohio. What happened, that Tesla, he went flying, came flying down a street in a Tesla Model 3, and he went, and this happened on May 4th. He was going about 70 miles per hour, ran a red light, sped through a 3-way intersection, and went flying through those steps and into a convention center lobby, which actually was hosting 3 events. Then in the lobby, he collided with a pillar. It caused about $200,000 of damage, and he said that his brakes failed and that he was trying to keep control of it. He was cited for losing control of his vehicle. And I'm sure he'll be looking at a nice little little invoice from that. There were actually a Girl Scout convention was there too.
Nobody got hurt.
You almost hit the damn Girl Scouts.
Nobody got hurt, right?
Nobody was hurt. That was, man. And you should see the video when that thing it looks like it's going at light speed, and engage warp drive. That's what that dude was doing when he went flying through into that building. Excuse me. Speaking of people losing control, we talked before about fast food and whatnot, right? Fast food, people misbehaving, getting upset with.
We got another car.
Yeah, getting upset with employees. So what happened with this woman was she was in a drive-through at ChickFilA, and this is in Hanover County, North Carolina. She was in the drive-through at ChickFilA, got upset about her order, and got out of the car to go give the employees the what for with her mouth. Problem was, forgot to throw that thing into park there, and it kept going and hit a retaining wall. Wow. So, yeah. Oh man. So let's keep it with fast food for a second, P. This next story. Listen, folks, hold your stomach.
Arby's.
Yeah.
What's their catchphrase?
We have the meats.
Yeah. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
So you're gonna hate this one.
Oh my God.
So Arbys in Vancouver, Washington, right?
That's in British Columbia.
Yeah, or was in Vancouver, Washington, but it's still in Washington. It's still in the States, but yeah, right by British Columbia, like right across the border, essentially. And so, yeah, what happened was a child porn distribution ring led them to a guy who was a manager at Arbys, right? So, 29-year-old, and then they pull him into custody, and then on his search warrant, searching his computer, get the usual stuff. Ugh. But then during questioning, my man admitted to authorities
That he ejaculated in the mayonnaise.
he peed in the milkshake machine for sexual pleasure on multiple occasions. He said he did it on at least twice, and he was almost sure that he threw the bag out, but he did it for sexual gratification. He told detectives that if he didn't throw the bag away, he would have added it to the other mix by the next shift and served it to customers. Oh, by the way, they were making 30 to 40 milkshakes a day around that time. He's serving up the urine shake now.
He's nasty. Yeah, we have this new banana flavored milkshake. It's yellow, but it doesn't taste like banana. It's giving me,
Oh, goodness.
I don't know what does this taste like, dude? I'm not tasting that if you don't know what it tastes like. Throw it away.
Oh,
It's
well,
yellow.
listen, this next story is about another misbehaving, misbehaving KFC employee. She wasn't misbehaving in as sick a manner as that fellow, but she could do more damage if you really think about it. Her name is Marquerva Lumar, and she is charged with taking pictures of people when customers were handed their credit cards. She would take pictures of the front and back of the cards, and then later use those numbers to make purchases. She spent thousands online, and now she's looking at credit card fraud. I'm assuming that she was trying to get all that money together to get the hair seen too, judging from this picture. Right. But that's just me. You gotta be.
It's expensive.
Yeah, it is. Yo, when I hear what these girls be spending, or when I hear what a dude had said his woman hit him up for her to get her hair done, I'm like, damn.
$400 for the hair, $250 for the hairdo. That's $650.
Right.
That hair better last you for 3 months.
Girl, you better take that off and put it in a glass case at the end of every night. Oh, man. I should have kept this story together with my man from Arbys, though. Because we talked plenty of times about misbehaving officers. And this is San Jose officer Matthew Dominguez. And he's 32-year-old. And he was coming to a... he was coming to a domestic disturbance call when he decided that, you know what, now's a good time to touch and expose myself to this person.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness. This was during a Memorial Day party last year, and Jennifer Rodriguez of Menlo Park, California, said Dominguez touched her breast and thigh and kept doing so even though she tried to rebuff him. June of last year. Rodriguez and her boyfriend, 30-year-old Andrew Polio, reported the alleged assault to San Jose's Office of Independent Police Auditor, which shared the accusations with the San Jose PD Internal Affairs Unit. Campbell Police investigated the claim, but Santa Clara County prosecutors declined to file criminal charges, though. So he's still out on the streets, just touching his wang. Listen, this next story is awesome to me for a couple of reasons. Now, I think that this cop, listen to this. This New Jersey police chief He's in, what county is that? I want to say Burlington County, New Jersey. He was cited for DUI recently, and that's I guess he's still Chief Brian Pessy, and he's charged with DUI. Yeah. Now, I'm sorry, but listen to this here. When they rolled up on him, they found Sergeant Pessy by the back tire of his truck, laid on the ground with his pants down.
To his ankles?
Well, not down past his waist. And there was what officers speculated was vomit on the back tire, so they couldn't tell. He must have been doing both at the same time, peeing and vomiting. Right? So then the cops ask him, "Yo, are you okay?" And he says, and he's still laying on the ground in the video. He's like, "Yeah, I'm good." Then the one cop said, you can see it on the cop body cam. He's like, "I don't think you are, because you're laying down in the street and you got your pants down." He's like trying to spell it out for him. When I think about this story, though, I'm sorry, but I think that Sergeant Pessy was protecting and serving in this story, folks. And he was protecting and serving by showing cats, listen, you don't get a DUI by crashing into buildings, causing property damage, maybe running over a couple of kids. This is the proper way to get a DUI, folks. Pulled over in the street, laid out, waiting for the cops to just come and get your ass.
Well, he wasn't driving his car.
Right, no.
How you going to charge him with a DUI?
Well, the truck was still running. You don't think, man, how you going to not?
But I wasn't driving.
Right. I would think now, because there have been times where, like, say I come outside, right? And the Eagles game is on. I want to listen to the Eagles game. I'm having a beer. I want to have a cigarette, right? I have a beer in my hand. I get in the passenger seat and activate the radio. But you said to me that I could get a DUI for that. But I'm thinking, like, listen, I'm not.
It's your car.
Okay, but I'm not. There's no intention to drive.
The car started.
Well, it wasn't started. It was just the.
How you turn the radio on without starting the car?
Well, it's on, but not started. You know what I mean? Like that whole click the joint like halfway. Yeah, that shit. Stuff.
You got a push button car.
Yeah. They tried. Yeah, they like you could drive that thing from the passenger seat. Turn around, get these cuffs on, boy. Listen, P, you were talking about your son, right? Or wait, hold on, P. We got one more cop DUI story here.
Yeah. Then we're gonna take a break.
Allentown cop. Oh, you gotta change a diaper or something, or you gotta lay her down. Lay me down. This is an Allentown cop, and he got a DUI recently. He was charged in Carbon County, Pennsylvania. That's Officer Joseph Krebs, and he's charged with driving under the influence and 2 offenses from a crash that happened in February. Confirmed Krebs served as a police officer, and he crashed his car in February. So he's looking at charges for that. His future as an officer has yet to be determined. P, you have a son. You talk about doing stuff with your son.
Yep.
So this next story is funny, though. So go ahead and take your break while we talk about this. So father and son bank robbers. Father and son bank robbers, and this is it. They were on a spree, actually. This happened in, where'd it go? So now, wait, there's more than, this father and son bank robbers from 2020, 2010. This is a little activity, huh, that people get into, robbing banks with their kids, huh? There we go. Father and son arrested after, this was in Leesburg, so now they're finally charged. They're going to jail. The father and son, Kenneth Sensendiver II, and his son, they've been charged with multiple counts of bank robbery. And, well, looking at Senior, he looks like tweakers are us. Like, holy smoke. There is definitely some meth in that man's blood. The son looks a little more heroin-y. Yeah, he looks like heroin is a little bit of his thing. But They were, according to Leesburg police, numerous tips from the public helped quickly identify Simpson Diver from photos circulated on social media. And the two men led police on a 3-county pursuit last year, and leading up to their arrest. 3 counties. I'm assuming Dad was driving to be able to keep that up. Oh my goodness. Oh man, I'm sure you heard about this story, folks. Wisconsin acid attack. A white man in Wisconsin, he's got 10 years for a racist acid attack on a Hispanic gentleman who was standing waiting for his bus. The Hispanic gentleman is, Hispanic appearing gentleman, Clifton Blackwell. Clifton Blackwell is the guy's name. He's racist and his last name is Blackwell. How the fuck does that work? How does that work? Or when Blackwell was waiting for a bus when he told Mahad Villiers that his truck was parked illegally in the bus zone. Apparently, I don't know if Villiers was waiting for someone or what, but then the two men got into an argument, and it was seen on security footage that Blackwell reached into his bag, pulled out a container, and then threw acid into the face of the Latino man. By the way, Villiers is a U.S. citizen that's from Peru. The guy was saying that he was trying to limit people in his country. I don't see how these guys, like, we've had that one video with that argument on the Long Island train, these events in Buffalo. Like, how, I don't get how a guy thinks, like, oh, by doing this act right here, I have really helped out the whole race. I have done it. I am a hero here. This need to be recognized in people. Oh yeah, we moved on to the next story. Did you hear about that, P? This acid attack in Wisconsin?
No.
Yeah, guy, he threw acid into the guy pulled up in his pickup truck into a bus zone where a racist guy, where the offender Norman Blackwell, he was waiting for a bus. Can you imagine being racist with a last name Blackwell? Like the Lord. But yeah. So dude pulled up, threw acid in the gentleman's. Well, they got into an argument. He threw acid in the guy's face, and now he's got 10 years for that. Shoot. So this next story. Oh shoot, I don't have his. Did I have it? Please tell me I put that mugshot in there. This happy looking gentleman. Oh yeah. That is convicted. That is an accused sex offender, and he was leading police. Oh yeah, look at he's a winner. I love this guy. Oh my goodness, he's 47-year-old Norman Senior, and he was trying to evade police in Harrisburg, and he said, you know what, today is not good for me. So they were on the Market Street. If you ever been to Harrisburg, that bridge that crosses the Susquehanna right there, that's where Mr. Senior said, this is how I'll evade the cops. He jumped off the bridge into the Susquehanna. They just fished him out a few feet down. So he was evicted from his apartment on April 19th. And then what happened was police were looking for him because as a registered sex offender, as of May 3rd, he still hadn't confirmed his address, so they went looking for him, saw him, and then tried to get their hands on him when he evaded them. But he actually was on K2. He admitted to smoking K2, the synthetic marijuana. Mm-hmm. That stuff,
had me hallucinating.
Whoa, why? Is it cheaper than regular marijuana?
I don't know.
Like, because I would hope that it'd be cheaper.
I didn't pay for it. I just hit it a couple times and had me looking at a motherfucker like, oh, shit.
Okay.
Reality hit me.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, why the fuck?
Right. Because I've heard of people doing some really, like, trying to tear their own face off or something. Like, it's like bath saltish with this stuff.
Well, that's where it all comes from. It's all related.
Okay.
Synthetic drugs.
All right. Interesting. Well, listen, we talked about how to get rid of a body plenty of times on this show, right? And oh shoot, I wasn't able to because the airdrop wasn't working, P. So I don't have that picture up for this next photo. But a guy in this was in
I don't even know where it was.
no, it was in Burrell County, Las Vegas, and police. What happened was they were investigating after 59-year-old Natalie. Wait a second. Hold on. That's not right. Hold on. I got you. Right here. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me go to the tablet here. Here we go. He's facing criminal homicide charges. Now, this took place in Loughborough County. And this is in Westmoreland County in Loughborough, Pennsylvania. The facility, they found a body in a storage facility. The gentleman, Alfred Steele, he was arrested and charged with criminal homicide. He's currently in police custody. The body in the storage unit was Steele's wife. Maybe he just never wanted to get rid of her. Like, he kept her close. I don't want to deal with you, but I don't want to let you go. So he said, but damn, can you, like, that's a bad play. So they found her in a drum. So eventually that stench is still going to leak out somewhat, right? Like out of a drum. I mean, unless it's sealed properly, but in a storage facility, right where it's waiting for authorities to just come and get it. Speaking of guys who were having problems with their wives. Oh, man. Yeah, you could look at her, like, my man has a heavy pimp hand, this fella here. So what happened, this took place in Concord, New Hampshire, right? And this gentleman, well, I use the term loosely, gentleman, he took his wife. His wife she wasn't even having an affair, according to the victim's family. Like, according to the victim's family, Brittany Barron, that's the woman with the shiners, like, damn. She's 33-year-old. She testified against her husband, who's on trial for first-degree murder. And Armando Barron, in September of 2020, he's being accused of discovering his wife with text messages, beating her, luring the guy that she was exchanging texts with to a park where he shot him, and then they took that body, they transported that body, and then he made the wife behead this guy. And this was during the trial in Keene County. So he pleaded not guilty to the assault of Ricardo Amaral. So he's on trial for that. But damn, like, that's some medieval stuff right there. Dismembered him, bitch.
Cut his head off.
Cut his head off.
You don't love him? Cut
Either
his head
your head or her. Now, we don't
Your
have.
head or his?
I tried to get the video for this. Well, we were having video problems anyway, like with the airdrop on my device today. But when I tried to look up the video for this next story, it wasn't. That video was taken down on YouTube of this young rapper doing heroin. I said the video was taken down on YouTube. It was up a couple of days ago. I said, well, oh shoot. I said, too bad he's not. No, I can't make that joke yet. You know, I'm gonna get myself in trouble with PR already right now. So this young fella. Now, we were talking earlier, right, about fake famous, trying to get likes and whatnot. And so with this young gentleman, his name is Bishop Nehru. Nehru. I don't know if I've never heard of him, P, but he's trying to put a new single out, new music video. And for the video, P, he tried heroin. He tried heroin in a video and then posted that on YouTube to go along with the song. He's known, he rose to prominence several years ago, collaborating with MF Doom and on the track or the album Nehruvian Doom in 2014. And it hit many publications into the year list. 8 years later, right now he's preparing for the release of his new project. And so he decided to indulge in some heroin. So he said in the video, he posted the disclaimer, this video was made for art purposes specifically. We at the Neruvian family do not condone or promote the use of hard drugs, but we support and speak for those affected who may not have a voice for themselves. If you ever need
Twitter.
Oh, it's on Twitter? Okay. There we go. Oh my goodness. That is some likes chasing. That's some sad stuff right there.
I mean, when you're trying to be famous.
Yeah, like what? But that's what I mean. Like people, like we've literally had people who've killed themselves trying to get the perfect selfie. Like where? I don't think there's an end in sight for this stuff.
I want to see it.
He probably nods out. You want to see him nod out, P? You want to see him nod out?
Yeah. What the hell is you doing?
These headphones got twisted around this chair, this cord.
What?
Hold on, we're having a little issue, P. I'm trying to resolve it now.
Did you nod out?
Right.
Are you
I
tying
just
your
saw.
shoes?
Got cord issues here all of a sudden. So yeah. Neruvian
Always breaking some shit.
No. Oh, speaking of artists that need it, you remember Cut Close in the 90s? You know you want my love, baby. Bobby Twisted. Oh, they are running a GoFundMe. They are trying to start for what they hope is a new album. Well, they need the GoFundMe to get it for an album that they're trying to put together. I guess Keith Sweat wasn't answering the phone.
You're fired. I can't believe you did that.
Before I got here, I've only been in this one spot.
You spinning around.
Okay, hold on, bear with me. CMP Radio.
Leave it to Darren, bro.
Hold on. Son of a biscuit eater. God damn. All right, yeah. So Cut Close is releasing. They're trying to release an album. There we go. All right.
It's a damn shame. I get it now.
Oh.
It's all starting to make sense.
Oh. So
It's all coming together. Mom.
And our last story here, we're going to get our last story. We got to save next week's hero. Oh, actually, no, Pete. Actually,
We can keep going, bro. Let's
okay.
go.
So, did you hear about this South Portland pepper spray gun?
No, he's spraying pepper spray.
Well, no, it's a pepper spray gun, and it was unveiled. Though they're thinking about using it down in Portland. They are using it. A South Portland firm, security defense contractor, because you've heard about all the riots that are taking place, like ongoing civil unrest in Portland. And so this one defense contract firm has released this is the wrong Portland. This is in Portland, Maine. A vehicle-mounted pepper spray gun. Well, I guess it'll just spray pepper spray. That's a little scary, huh? I don't know. I don't like it. Bah, I don't like it.
What don't you like about it?
It's rife for abuse. I mean, especially if cops, hopefully there are enough municipalities. There are going to be some municipalities in Texas and Florida that are looking at that thing and hell yeah, let's get one of those. Oh my goodness. And then again, what I don't like about it, P, is how it's rife for, you see how they treat crowds and protesting crowds and whatnot with rubber bullets and whatnot, let alone something that you could just spray out, just roll through and just mace people and keep it going. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah, definitely see that. Did you hear about Ray Didinger?
No, what, he got AIDS?
Damn, you went there. No, P, he doesn't have AIDS.
I heard about it.
Oh, Ray Didinger. He
on heroin?
No, he tried heroin.
What? You asked me.
No, he's retiring. Yeah.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. affects me personally, though.
Why?
Ray Dinger's retirement. I need to email him and tell him to make it about me. Because actually, there was a lot of times, like, because he covers, sport. He's been covering sports for years in the city. And there were a lot of times when I'd be thinking about years, 53 to be exact. And so there'd be times when I'd be thinking something, and then I'd listen
What would Ray
to...
do?
And no. Then I listen to, I'm thinking something about the Eagles. Like, oh, man, they got to do this, that, and the other. Then I listen to Ray Dinger on the air, and he says almost word for word what I'm thinking. And I'm like, yes, I'm on the right path. I'm in agreement with Ray Dinger. I already was doing the right thing, which is why I've been dying. That question that I proposed to you or posed to you last week about the Sixers, the 2001 Sixers, and how they might have been able to win if not for Ratliff's injury. I've been wanting to ask Ray Dinger that for about 10 years. And I should have just called in the show and waited for an hour and a half to get through because, that's how long it's going to take. But, I never did. So it looks like I'll never get a chance to ask him that question. P, you got a baby that's asleep. Did you hear about the federal ban on baby sleep products? I didn't even know they had these. Baby sleep products. They're credited, or they're saying that these baby sleep products are linked to 200 baby deaths. Man, you know what? And they signed it Biden signed the Safe Sleep for Babies Act of 2021 this past Monday, outlawing the manufacture and sale of crib bumpers and certain inclined infant sleepers. So at first I thought he was talking about baby sleep products, like a baby, you give this to your baby to make them go to sleep. Funny story, though. You ever heard of Nights of, what's it called? Nights of something. So I mentioned this story to my mother, right? That they were, and I got to clarify that with my mother, that they were talking about sleep products and not sleep, make your baby sleep. You know what I mean? Nights of something. So my mother was telling me that I used to teeth real bad, right? And then when I would teeth real bad, my grandmother would give me this Nights of Teething. Hold on here. My grandmother used to give me this Nights of Teething band medicine. Damn it, where's the name? It was called Nights of Algira or something. Nights of something. So my mom said, oh, wait, there we are. Spirits of Niter. There we go. Thanks, Mom. So Spirits of Niter. My mom said that my grandmother would give this to me, right? And then when I would be teething, I didn't want anyone else but my grandmother, right? I said, my grandmother was my first pusher, man. Ain't this some stuff? Like, get out of here. You ain't got that good stuff like grandma got.
What the hell is that?
So, yeah, that product actually wound up being banned, too. They banned that in 1980. So I got in just under the radar there. Yo, speaking of toddlers, P, listen, you got that toddler right there that's knocked out. I don't have kids, but, I mean, one thing that I would make sure to do is to give them a dummy phone. Always give your kid a dummy phone, folks. We talked before about that kid that ordered the furniture, right? Well, this kid ordered a pile of cheeseburgers, 31 to be exact, on the mom's delivery app. Casey Golden was stunned when delivery jobs kept showing up with cheeseburgers. Her 2-year-old son, Barrett, ordered that thing off the phone. I was working, I was using my phone, and sometimes whenever I'm on my computer and my phone, he'll come grab the phone out of my hand, and he did. He likes to take pictures of himself, and so he was doing that. I thought I locked the phone, but apparently I didn't, said the mother. So I'd have made, you going to sit right here and eat every last damn one of these things, too. Now that oh, my goodness. Oh, man, speaking of children, P, and we talking about, like, the effect of social media on children and, like, the leading to suicide. It's led to it's being attributed as a cause in a lot of suicides. But I mean, you'd have a hard time arguing it, especially like we talked about. You know, a lot of what goes on social media is to make you feel bad about yourself. Your life sucks unless you buy this product right here, etc. So, young lady, and we talked about TikTok challenges. How don't do it unless it ends with you looking like Rerun or something. Don't do it. A 10-year-old, huh?
Who's that?
Who's what? That's the cheeseburgers.
No, the person, her.
Little girl. Oh yeah, little girl looking grown, just like we were talking about in these damn social media. So you can tell she's on that damn social media. Was because she gone. She's a 10-year-old. She died, and she was doing the Blackout Challenge. And actually, it says here, if I'm not mistaken, it says Washington Post. But it said of Chester. Yes. Oh my God, she's from here. She died doing the Blackout Challenge, where you hold your breath until you pass out. And she wound up passing away. Her mother, Tawana Anderson, found her hanging in the closet near the point of death. Performed CPR until paramedics arrived to take her to a hospital in Wilmington, but she died. So her mother is now suing. On Thursday, Anderson filed a wrongful death lawsuit against TikTok in U.S. District Court here in Eastern Pennsylvania. In the suit, Anderson accuses TikTok and the parent company ByteDance of unleashing a predatory and manipulative app that pushed exceedingly and unacceptably dangerous challenges in front of Naya and children who died as a result. Yeah, like I said, this whole thing is out of control with these challenges. Who comes up with these? And how does it proliferate? I don't know. Even this. Oh. Well, I mentioned dangerous things on dangerous behaviors that take place on social media. This gentleman, Pete, would you ever go cliff diving? I would never, ever. I'm terrified of heights, so.
You're scared of everything.
Yeah. Bats, heights, dust,
guns,
police. All that.
You can't live your life like that. It's not life.
So, actually, he was a professional football player, and he was with his wife and son in Spain, and he went to, get a picture of me jumping off the cliff into this pool of water, and so something went wrong quickly because he's screaming something wrong because he's letting out a scream before clipping he hit a rock on his way down to the water, so he didn't get the proper clearance as he leapt out from the cliff. So he was gravity already had him, and he was headed towards that rock. He hit the rock, then hit the water, and then you hear his wife in the video go, "Oh my God!" So yeah, his wife and his son were sitting on a rented boat, and they pretty much saw the whole thing right there. So, can we file that? No, not a whole death by selfie. No, we can't. We can file that under related. There's a website, Death by Selfie, and it keeps account of people that have died taking selfies, for the year and whatnot. And I wonder if I'm curious. I was just thinking aloud if he's going to be counted along those statistics or not. Pete, we talked about. We talked about bad ways to go. We even mentioned earlier with your boy. You said Kevin Samuels might have died during sex, which is not a bad way to go at all. And we talked before about my man that was operating that vehicle or operating a crane, went down, essentially drowned in a sewage tank. Well, it's happened. It's kind of happened again here. A 74-year-old woman in Northport, Florida, and she was missing. She had last been seen on Monday night around roughly 6 p.m. The next morning, the woman's daughter called for a wellness check. And so the police, and you know what, I've thought about that a couple of times with police in a wellness check. I know if I was a cop and you get a call for a wellness check, that cop has got to be like, please let this person answer the door. Please let this person answer the door. Because, there are other times where you go do you've heard of wellness checks and the cops find a corpse or something like that. So they went to go find her, And at the arrival of the house, they found a hole in the yard, and the hole in the yard led to the septic tank, and the septic tank was where they found her. She fell down in the septic tank, and the septic tank it collapsed in her garden. It's underneath of her garden. It collapsed underneath her, and so basically, those sinkholes in Florida, like I guess they're everywhere, huh? Trains. This is a train. A lot of times it's a train wreck. But speaking of which, you know what? The other day I was where was I? I was right off of, I can't recall. The train arm was down for a long time while you were waiting to cross, but there was no train. You couldn't hear anything. You couldn't feel any rumbling. Then eventually cars got tired of waiting, and then you start to see cars go around the arm of the train arm right there. And I was like, all right. One, it's a traffic violation. That invites cops. Two, you can get obliterated doing that. It takes a train at least a half a mile to stop. This train went around the lowered arm and got T-boned by a oncoming train. This happened. This happened. This was a white Jeep Wrangler, and this was in Jersey, in Brigantine, New Jersey. Went around and got obliterated. So, wow, and this happens a lot, though. I mean, you see all kinds. Man, like this happens. Oh, wait, is it video? I might have to watch this for a second.
No video.
No, hold on a second. All I looked up was the picture. I never even looked up hold on 1 second here. As soon as they kill me with this. Hey, you want this 12-second video? You gonna watch this 30-second ad? But then again, like I said to one of my old students,
over the scene on Garfield Street and North Dixie Highway this afternoon.
And it comes one day after a tragedy on the tracks in Pompano Beach. Video showing the moments leading up to the death of a young father struck by a Brightline train on Monday.
Local 10's Roy Ramos is in Hollywood.
You can see the video off in the distance. He's trying to go around that arm, and that train was moving too. Like, oh man. So yeah, he gone. P. Hold on, my thing messed up. But hold on, give me a second, P, because I made you up. I'm gonna find this because I put too much work into it to just skip it. Hold on 1 second here. I did. Well, this is only temporary because we're gonna make. This is only temporary because we're gonna make more of them. But and remember that there was this audio that I've been wanting so bad from you. It was actually wound up being from the second run of the show, and this is actually how I got the inspiration for P's Weekly Hero, because I mentioned this young fella that took his I don't know if you remember the young fella that took his father's car out to get some cereal.
Yes.
And then told the cop. Yeah, so that's what gave me the inspiration for P's Weekly Hero, because I was like, man, we'll have stories like that every week. So wait, check the desktop there, because I know I have it. I put that thing in there. I went and edited it, touched it up, got it all set, and now I can't find it. Wait, hold on, wait, let me check. Well, anyway, so P, I got 3 weekly heroes for you this week. All right, we got who this is. We got a cop that performed. You ever done CPR training? I've done CPR training. I had to do it like, if you're working with kids, you got to. I used to have to get it yearly when I first started working in schools. But, they teach you how to do CPR that's part of your CPR training is you might have to perform it on a toddler. Well, this Atlanta cop, Atlanta SWAT cop, he performed CPR on a little baby 7 days ago. And there's moving video of it. You see him pressing down. We had trouble with the airdrop today, but You see him performing, you see him performing, pushing the compressions on the young child's chest right after the mother just set it down so the officer could tend to it. And you see him to do the compressions. You can hear the baby struggling to breathe. Then you see the camera lower closer to, because the guy's, breathing into the baby. Comes back up. He's giving compressions again. Then you see the legs are starting to stir like the baby's responsive. And he keeps applying CPR until the paramedics come and scoop up the baby and take it into the ambulance. So the baby is alive. Like, wow, so that's your first hero, P. The Atlanta SWAT officers. Now, this one is a group submission. ChickFilA scholarship winners. Oftentimes, it's rarely a week goes by where I don't find some evidence that P went to ChickFilA this week. P, would you say that you visit ChickFilA weekly? Say again. I can't hear a word you say.
Not anymore. I don't do ChickFilA as much as I used to.
Okay.
I'm trying to refrain from all the unnecessary spending.
Okay. Oh, well, there you go. I thought you were going to say, never mind. Thought you were going to. So what ChickFilA did, they awarded their scholarships to local employees. So they do this every year, apparently. So 5 lucky students were awarded the ChickFilA leadership scholarships to help them pay for their higher education. The 5 students who are current employees at the Springfield Park location, and they'll have some assistance with it. Hey, every little bit helps. Shoot, I'm accepting donations right now. The Darren DeVoue Foundation, benefiting Darren DeVoue. One kid is from Collingdale. She says she plans to attend Westchester University. And so a lot of these are local kids, obviously. It's a $2,500 reward to celebrate their success and leadership. So there you go. So that's a group submission, those 5 kids. So we got the SWAT cop, the group submission, and now this one I saved for last because I said this one right here. She has got peace, just like Jordan has you wrapped around here. This young lady is going to have P wrapped around her finger as soon as I tell him what she did. P, this young lady, her name is Tiana Briscoe, and she saw her father taken to prison when she was a child. She picked him up. He was in prison for 20 years for nonviolent drug crimes. He was sentenced in 2001 for selling cocaine. And so you know what Tiana went and did? While she wearing that cap, she went and took her behind to law school, P. Mm-hmm. She said they took her father to prison. She went to law school. So Tiana Briscoe, and actually her father was given a mandatory life sentence plus 240 years at first. This was only changed at the federal level in 2018, but many states still have it in place. So Tiana went to law school, and her recent graduation, and her and her father have started to find a sense of normalcy as well. You know, hell, he's been gone for 2 decades. Like, wow. So they celebrated her graduation, and there you go. So we got Tiana, the SWAT cop, and the 5 scholarship submissions.
Oh, you want to know who my weekly hero is?
Yes. Oh, this might be a duh.
First, I want to say thank you to the SWAT officers that were able to save that baby's life. Without them being involved, there's a possibility that the child could have died.
Yeah, because you can hear the mother in the back. She don't know what the. Like just the situation in and of itself. She's watching your baby. Like, man.
I think, and again, like I said, when you become a mother or a father, it's imperative that you learn what to do if something happens.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if this happens, like you don't get any owner's manuals.
Right. Damn sure enough for that.
But for everything else that you own in life, you get an owner's manual. You get an owner's manual with an iPad. You get an owner's manual with a fan, right? You know, there are certain things that you should know how to do to save your life or your child's life. You know what I mean? So, but no knock on the mom or the dad
Right.
for not being in that situation. Just
Right, because I've trained in that CPR stuff multiple years, but I don't. If I'm holding if I'd have been holding your kid or obviously somebody else's kid, but if I'd have been holding somebody else's kid, you know, even though I'm trained in that.
You're
stuff.
trained in it. Your job is not to panic.
Right.
So you're not trained in it if you're panicking.
Here we go.
A huge shout out to ChickFilA. You feel me?
Right.
For award scholarships and the people that they choose to give these scholarships to in black areas are typically black and in white areas are typically white. But they're giving these scholarships out from ChickFilA as a whole.
Right. And their workforce is very diverse.
It is.
I mean,
It is.
And I was in McDade the other day. I saw this little Janelle Monáe, or she's on, it was on McDade Boulevard, but she was a little Janelle Monáe lookalike almost. Right. And she was, you could tell she was in manager training.
Right.
So,
Yeah. So I'm just waiting for the ChickFilA to open up here in Chester.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Is there one coming?
Shit, why not? Why wouldn't
That thing would be busy and probably get robbed.
Right.
No.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding.
It's not white people, bro. It's us. It's us. You want to know why shit remains fucked up? Because of what you just said.
Oh, what?
They'll probably get robbed.
I was joking, but
you can't joke about it because when it happens, I told you.
No, I wouldn't say. There have been plenty of times where I said,
tried to tell me it wouldn't happen.
No, they're all. I hate when it happens when I make a joke about something and then it happens and I'm like, come on, universe. I was only kidding. I was joking.
You're not kidding. You put it out there. So what you put out there?
Oh, well, that shit. I wish I had that kind of power.
You do have that kind of power.
Put
it out there every day that you're a millionaire. And in 5 years, when you become a millionaire, just give me $1 million so you won't be one anymore.
You know what? Actually,
put it out there. Believe that you can do what the fuck you want to do, Darren. Like, at the end of the day, you are your own worst enemy, bro. Like, literally. Like, if we understood how true that statement is, bro, like the things that we could do, the things that we could accomplish, it wouldn't stop there. You feel me? So if you believe it, so shall it be. You feel me? And if you doubt it, so shall it be. It is what you put out there. This show is going to be the greatest show in the fucking universe. This show is going to get syndicated to 1,000,001 fucking channels. You, Darren DeVoue, are going to become a voice to the masses. But if you don't believe that, if you don't work towards that, if you keep working towards all the other shit that you want to do and all the, I got to pay this bill, I got to do this, I got to do that, that shit jumps on top of your dreams and it blocks you.
You know what? One time I had a little experiment with myself with watching Fox News, and I was trying to watch I watched it for over the course of a month to see how it psychologically affected me and how I dealt with others. What I'm going to do, I'm going to have another social or psychological experiment with myself. I'm going to do that every day and every night. I'm going to have a saying, start off with that about the show every morning. And something a different saying every night, some kind of self-affirmation every night. I'm going to do that for 2 months.
Right, 3 months, 90 days.
90 days? Okay, 90 days in. Yeah.
Right, 90 days. It literally, it builds a habit, bro.
Okay.
You know
We're
what
going
I'm
to do
saying?
that.
Like, this wasn't my life. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I wasn't thinking about doing this, waking up every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning and coming in here and doing the things that I do. But it has become that, right? And I want people to understand it's not easy. But back to the P's Weekly Heroes, because I don't want to take the.
You want to steal her thunder? Steal somebody's thunder?
I literally have to give, what's the lady's name?
Tiana Anderson.
I have to give her the award, right? Because throughout all the circumstances, you feel me, her father being locked away, you feel me, the fact that she wanted to become a lawyer to free him, had that would not have happened with Barack Obama, right? It could be, she could have been a lawyer to start the ball rolling.
Right.
She became a lawyer to help her father. She became a lawyer to fight for her father because she felt like he was unjustly sentenced, right, to life plus 234 years for selling cocaine.
Are you kidding me?
Like, for selling cocaine, bro. You feel me? Like, not for murdering anybody, not for killing anybody, right? There are nonviolent offenders throughout America, right? And I feel like those people who have never hurt anybody, who were just providing a service.
I think prostitution is a victimless crime.
Prostitution, drug dealing, nonviolent drug dealers. You feel me? It's a victim.
Right, because the user understands the risks associated with consuming this product.
It's like the people that own McDonald's should go to jail for making us all fat.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like creating obese people. Like, you
Right.
don't think
Where does
that's
it
true?
end? How about
How
that?
many McDonald's, Burger Kings, Wendy's, Arbys, fucking ChickFilA's, you know, mom and pop shops? How many of these places are selling us processed foods, which ends up fucking us up, fucking our insides up? You feel me? Like, so why aren't they going to jail? What about the alcohol manufacturers?
Oh my.
The cigarette manufacturers?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how come they not going to jail? So, you know, I truly believe that hopefully they're turning the leaf on the nonviolent criminals.
Yes.
And they're giving them another shot. But I definitely give my P's Weekly hero to her.
Okay. Yeah, the Vegas odds were very low. Yeah, because it was like you bet $1 on Tiana, you'd only win like 15 cents.
Right.
Like that's how we knew it was. Go ahead,
Right.
P. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
And, you know, I want her to keep on pushing, keep on striving, keep on challenging yourself. People don't put challenges in front of you. You have to create your own challenges. You have to overcome what you think is doesn't apply, what you feel is like can't be overcome, right? You have to challenge yourself every day. Make up a new list every day. If you achieve your challenges, then you make up a new one after you achieve it, right? At the top of every hill is the bottom of another.
Right.
You feel me? And you got to keep climbing. You can't, I just climbed up that hill. That's too much. I'm going to sit right here. No, you want to go up. You want to keep going up. You got to continue to climb.
Yeah, I mentioned Janelle Monáe. She's always doing something, you know, musician now, actress, and activist, all that. Next and next.
Challenges. Somebody sent me something this morning. They were talking about Haiti, and they was like, I didn't even know how France has them paying reparations
That's some
for
sugar honey
freedom
iced
that they
tea.
got in 1804. And she was like, man, it's a shame. I said, well, we suffer from the same situation here in America. You feel me? Like, we have neighborhoods that people don't want to come in to help. You feel me? We have a whole city where, you know, like, before anybody else gets a Chick-fil-A, you would think the city of Chester would have one. Before anybody
It's
else
a city,
gets a Wawa
right? Bigger
gas
population,
station,
right?
you would think the city of Chester.
Bigger
No, but what we say, no, don't move there. You'll get robbed. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you said.
No, I didn't.
That's what you said.
No, I'm not saying because it's here in the city, but the way things are going, take it. Context is important. Look at today. Nowadays, these cats are waving guns.
They're not robbing anybody, though.
Yeah, right. You got a gun in somebody's face trying to rob them.
How often does Sunoco get robbed?
That's Sunoco on Curling?
On Edgemont. How often does the Sunoco on Curling get robbed? How often does fucking the Citgo get robbed?
Okay,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
you got all those gas stations.
I mean,
there,
like,
right.
people ain't robbing nobody no more. I mean, it's mostly young kids with guns
Young
that
boys,
are beefing.
yes.
That are beefing, and they're beefing over things that don't even really make sense. It's over Facebook. It's over YouTube. It's over IG. Like, literally.
We talked about the social media. Yeah.
That's
Social media is doing our young
those are
folks.
the things that they value. So we have to put value back in our kids. We have to give hope to our children. We have to give a future to our kids. If you got a class full of futureless children and hopeless children, man, you might as well give them.
Yeah.
You might as well give them inmate numbers to the males and access cards to the females.
Damn, right. How about?
And chalk it up. You feel me? But we have to give hope to our children, man. We have to give hope to our situation. So, yeah, I definitely give a big shout out to her, man. Congratulations on her law degree. I hope she goes on to tear shit up.
Oh,
You feel me?
sure.
I hope one day she could be a justice, right?
How about that? Yeah.
And also to our own feet, right? She's the. She said she put a post up that she might not be the first black public defender, right? But you know, I feel like the first female black public defender, or the one that we know about, right, in our history, is her. So she graduated this Saturday, I think, Saturday or Friday it was. So congratulations to her, man. Keep pushing. Again, you have to challenge yourself. You have to, because if without challenges, man, you don't accomplish jack shit. You feel me? So
Right on.
that's P's rant for the day.
P's pontification.
Right.
There we go. You like how I come up with those alliteration?
Yeah, you like them words. That's that Mansfield education. I'm proud of you. You sitting there packing up your bags and rolling up out of here.
No, getting ready to get out your hair. I gotta go. Shoot, I gotta. Hold on. I just gotta get that paper. Hold on. You mentioned paying bills. Let's see.
Man, see,
Uber,
there we go.
Uber app and online. Okay, so with that said, That'll bring us to the end of this week's Run of the Day Train with Darren DeVoue, folks. Don't forget, next week we'll be off. But again, if you miss any of this or the rest of CMPRadio.net's content, such as Respect for Life with Mr. Muhammad, Week Strong, Born Leader, and Uncle P's Neighborhood Conversations, go to the CMPRadio.net Facebook or YouTube page and click on the video tab, and it's all right there for your consumption at your leisure.
Absolutely.
P, what are you doing for Memorial Day?
Sleeping.
That makes two of us.
Yeah, I'm not. I ain't got no need to no barbecue, no need to run around, no need. I don't want to do none of that stuff. I got things I got to do every other day. So
right on. And actually, what I'm going to start. So today is the 22nd, no?
Yes.
All right. So starting the 22nd, we'll revisit this matter. Oh, actually, first when I get home, before I go online, I'm gonna go home, write down my outlook, and et cetera, whatnot, and how I feel everything's going. Then I'm going to start our experiment. We'll revisit it on June. Wait, what's 3 months from now? August 22nd.
Right. August 20. Yeah, August 22nd.
All right.
I say September, man.
You say September, huh?
September, I give you 8 extra days.
All right. Well, why don't we check? Can we check in? Have a
monthly check-in?
Yeah.
Check-in?
Let's see.
Absolutely.
Because I'm
notice
curious.
The differences that you'll feel.
Exactly.
Just
right.
inside
right.
of yourself.
I'm
right?
curious.
The differences that you'll be able to see by having a positive outlook. Right. I had to change my outlook. I was the cup half full dude.
Because there were plenty of times. Yeah.
No, half empty. My fault.
Okay.
I was like, man, that cup half empty. But understanding, if you look at things positively, positivity grows. You know what I mean? If you look at things negativity grows.
Okay.
You feel me? Like,
right.
And I don't want any of my brothers or my sisters to have that constantly on them. Right? There's a way out of this, but it's together. It's us inspiring each other, pushing each other, challenging each other. You feel me? Like, that's all I'm trying to do.
And I'm curious because there are plenty of times where you said negativity, positivity, you were talking about that. And so there are plenty of times where, like, in the morning or afternoon, I'll look in the mirror and you know.
No, you can't do that.
Here we go.
Right? You have whatever you have it, and only you have it. And God only gave it to you. You have to use it before you lose it. You feel me?
Right on.
Yeah, literally. Like, you have to, because once he realizes, all right, there's not enough time for you to get things done, he takes you out of here.
All right, then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll start our little experiment. I'm looking forward to, what's that, July 22nd, with our little check-in. All right, folks, we'll see you week after next. Hey, everybody, please have a safe Memorial Day. Get a designated driver. If you feel yourself talking like this, I want you to tap, 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 or either hey, matter of fact, there was a scene, you know who Danny McBride is? My man from Eastbound and Down, right. All them other shows. Right. There's this one movie he's in with Larry David, and he and Larry David, they pull up to this concert. They're going to go see a Chicago concert, the band Chicago. And so he takes his keys, he goes to Larry David, hey, hold on to these. I plan on getting fucked up today. So do that, all right? Toss your keys to somebody who cares, all right? Not some stranger, but toss them to somebody who cares, and have a safe Memorial Day. I want to see you here in 2 weeks, all right? So ever again, peaceful, productive, and positive, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for joining, folks.
We're talking about the heroic work of 2 men.
We're going after your train.
A train keeps going all night long. A train